Alright, so we've made our way to the pen outline tool, and that's located right just underneath your eyedropper tool. Before we begin with the pen outline tool, I think I just want to go over and make sure you understand about the setting up the defaults and the most common mistake students do make. And that is actually drawing something with a color or an outline and not having an object selected, and it all of a sudden becomes the default. For an example, if I right now select a pen outline of 8 points and nothing has been selected, CorelDRAW automatically thinks, hey, is this what you want for your default? You want it to apply to a graphic, artistic text mode, or paragraph text mode? And graphics is any shape that you draw. So we will go right to graphic, and now when I draw a shape, you can see that it's fairly thick. With the same thing as if I accidentally click on a color, and also I just clicked OK, which means graphic, I've selected blue, so my outline would be blue. So now if I actually draw a shape, it stays blue. It's great if you're doing multiple colors. It becomes frustrating if you're not sure what's going on. So, and that's because nothing has been selected. Remember, when you are working with Corel, you must select an object, and then you can change the colors or do whatever you want, because it then knows, oh, I want to apply it to this object. Selecting white by accident, and now you're actually going to color or draw a shape, it's white. You don't see it. Or if you fill something, it's always gray. So be sure to make sure an object is selected before you go and use the outline tool for anything. So right now I'll just change the default, make sure I have it right. So, and I'll have gray, and I'm going to just go to small outline, and we'll just fill it with so let's see what that does. There you go. So, okay, outline tool. Again, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. A few things that you do have to watch out for, and I'll show you that right now. And I guess the best example for showing the outline tool is probably with text. And I'm just going to throw in O, so we can just call it texto. And right now, with this text, I'll go to bold, and I want to outline this text with yellow. You can't see it because it's hairline, but there it is right there. So it has a little yellow outline. Maybe I'll use a brighter color, and maybe go like that. So with orange. Now I'm going to go to the outline tool. I'm going to go to the very first icon, the dialog box, and the color is orange. It is a hairline. So what I want to do is I'll go to 24 points, and you can see that my text, you can't even read certain letters because it's actually filling inside of my text. So what I want to do is go back to that dialog box, and I want to fill behind. So now you notice it will fill behind those letters. So now I can actually read it. And again, it's no different if I created a shape or anything else like that. So we fill behind, and it will allow us to it actually fills right to the character line right here. If this was off, it's flooding it. It's going inside it, as you can see right here. The next thing, I'm going to scale this down. Look what happened to my outline. It didn't scale proportionately. It's actually quite large. So let's undo that. In the ratio of what I have set up over here. So I'm going to go back to the dialog box. I'm going to select Scale with Image. I'm going to click OK. Now let's scale it down. So it proportionately scales that line down. So that's why anytime I use outline fill, I'll fill it behind, and I'll always click scale with image. And I just do that by habit. So I'm going to just show you one more thing, and then we'll go on to the next tool. What I'll do is I'm going to go to my smart drawing tool, and I'll just create this shape. And I'll just give it a, now you notice I tried filling it and it did not fill, so I do have an open path in here somewhere, and it's right there, so I will have to connect this to that. So there's my shape, and what I want to do is create an outline. So I will fill behind, scale with image, and I will give it a fairly large outline. So there it is there. Let's look at the line itself. It's equal, it's 16 points all the way around. I want to actually give this a more cartoony look, more like a calligraphy style where the lines are thick and thin. And where we do that is in the calligraphy section, changing our nibs, and under my corners. I want to have a nice round corner. Line caps, just leave it open around, and on the angle I probably want to go somewhere around there, and you can stretch it to whatever you like, but just put it on an angle. And now I'm going to click OK. So there we have this thick and thin look to our composition, and it sort of gives you the look that it was drawn by hand with the calligraphy. So it just gives it a little more dynamics, a little more freedom. So you can use that to give your outline. I was trying to do something here. So let's just push this guy over here. There you go. So it becomes a little more cartoony, and that's in our dialog. So let's remove that. And now let's go have a look at our next tool. I'm just going to create a shape over here, and the quickly over here is our outline. So if you want a thick outline, you can actually by default go there, a little thinner. If I go to what's referred to as wireframe mode, you'll notice that there is no outline in the wireframe mode. So you do have to be careful, and a lot of times I do work in wireframe mode, and that's just so I can see the outline. Now what we're talking about is really basic use of CorelDRAW, and the more advanced, and if you're really involved with CorelDRAW and using CorelDRAW for sign cutting or anything else like that, outlines are very, very critical, and exporting to Flash or different programs, because some programs do not recognize that being as a thick 8-point outline. It only understands it as being this as a line. So you have to be careful on what you plan on doing, and we do have lessons on that later on. So let's just go back, and I'll just make sure I'm in enhancement. So again, you want a thick outline, go here, back to default. This is your default. You don't want any outline. If you want color, you can go to your color mixers and select whatever you want. This is a real nice little handy thing too. So if I go to RGB and go my color mixer, and I'll just do my complementary colors. If I move this around, we'll see my complementary colors for Corel. So you don't have to think about your colors or whatever you want. Your triangle is over here, so that's your split complementary. You can just move it around, and if you stay within this color range over here, again, you're guaranteed to having a good composition. So right click fills our outline. I'm right clicking, and you can see that it's filling the outline. Left click on your mouse is your fill. So that's the end of the outline. Again, I think points to remember is when you are in your outline, always go fill behind, scale with image, when you increase your outline thickness. Okay.